it's another viewer special, and you all know what this means. It's a Gerann special, it's a Gerann special, it's a Gerann. It's a Gerann special. This first question, what are your thoughts on the recent Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens? In general. Haven't seen it, but I have heard there's a bit of a divide on it. There are people that are like, oh my goodness, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life! And there's other people like, Stormtroopers on target. Franchise ruined forever. So, again, having not seen it, not my place to say, and I was never much of a Star Wars fan growing up. I did enjoy Episode 3, and I've seen bits and pieces of the originals, or as some would say, but there are no prequels. You know, Random doing his shtick. If I had to pick, I'm very partial towards Return of the Jedi, because I think that's the only one I've ever seen all the way through. Again, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, so it's not really the place to ask me. So, from what I've heard, it's a bit of a split. You know, there are people that are narking, and then there are people that are going all Chester A-bum on it. So, that's my 2 cents. Question 2. If you had to choose a specific video game turned into a movie, which one would you choose and why? You're really going to ask me that one, when everybody knows which one I choose. Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'll tell you how I do this in particular. I would take some of the story plot points from Sonic Adventure 2, but mix it in with Sonic Saturday Morning, because I liked the idea with, as the fans dubbed it, Satam, or Saturday AM, if you're going to be technical, purely because it went with a slightly darker premise than what we had seen with Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which ran along at the same time but ran on weekdays, whereas Satam ran at the weekends. Things I would do, Sonic is voiced by Jaleel, obviously. Tails is voiced by Kate Higgins. Knuckles to be voiced by Crispin Freeman, because he is one of the masters of anime voice acting. Robotnik to continue to be voiced by Mike Pollock, because he's one of the best. But I wouldn't necessarily replace Amy Rose with Sally Acord, but I would definitely have Sally Acord in that, because you need the brains of the outfit, and she's essentially Tails' mentor and tutor, for want of a better description. That's pretty much the premise I would go with. So yeah, thank you, Red. Thanks for asking that. And question number 3. Which episode of Knight Rider between Goliath and Goliath Returns is the best for you, and why? That's a very good question. I'd say the team-up episode with Goliath Returns, which was a 2-hour TV movie, was actually that was actually the first time in Knight Rider where we had 3 2-hour episodes: Goliath Returns, and less we say about Mouth of the Snake, the better. And I like that one, which was just a backdoor pilot for Code of Vengeance. It was also so David could have time off, so he could have his honeymoon with Catherine Hickelin, which is understandable. But this episode, it was like, it's a Knight Rider episode, but there needs to be more Knight Rider, if you get my point. I'd say the first Goliath, because it's the mystery, surrounding, who is this other guy that looks like Michael Knight, but with this very suave mustache. And just this very eloquent way that David made Garth sound. He goes, Michael Knight is a living, breathing insult to my existence. And funny thing is, if you actually read in Hasselhoff's autobiography, his dad actually calls him up on the phone saying, hey, there's this actor that looks like you on the show you're on, but he's actually better than you. And I'd be like, wow. But it was just the way that the editing was done at the time to make it look like you could see Michael Knight and his evil twin nemesis in the same frame at the same time. It was glorious. I like the premise that Kit's basic indestructible shell, which makes him impervious to harm, is naturally then put onto a 10-ton semi that can go through anything. The only thing that Goliath lacked, well, was an intelligence, but then there was the idea in Goliath Returns to actually take Kit's CPU and put it into Goliath. I can just imagine Kit going, well, this certainly won't do. But yeah, the first episode with Goliath, really well done. Such mystery. It took more risks and explored not only the past of Wilton Knight, but also showing that that there was little dark pasts of the Knight family, including his wife going off the deep ends to help their son, who was, well, let's just say he was 2 sandwiches short of a picnic. Kudos if you get the reference. But yeah, I really enjoyed that, and you really got to give a lot of credit to Robert Foster for the way that Knight Rider had progressed into season 2 in terms of writing, production value, scripting, and just these very subtle changes he'd made, like with Kit's voice modulator, things in terms of the title ending, taking away the Richard Basehart narration at the end, Mike, one man can make a difference, Michael. It just really helped take the show forward, and it's a darn shame he's gone, because for watching all throughout Knight Rider, Robert really made a difference, and you can even ask Nick Nugent about that with the extensive research that he did on the official Knight Rider companion. Go get the book, go buy it, it's well worth the price of paying for it, and you get to take home a piece of knowledge that is of all things Knight Rider from a man who did research upon research upon research. It's the one thing, if you're a Knight Rider fan, you have to have it. My opinion anyway. So, we've come to the end of another Ask the Knight episode. You know how this shtick works by now. If you're on dynamicnight.com, Facebook, or even here on YouTube, leave a question in the comment section below, or if you see on the outro my lovely Twitter link, send me a question via the tweet there. But until then, folks, ask again and have yourself a good day.